The WNBA is investigating hateful fan comments after the Clark-Reese incident.
The WNBA conveniently failed to provide examples of these violations.
It has escalated into something where now there is an investigation going on because there has been hateful fan comments, supposedly, directed towards Angel Reese.
After Angel Reese accused Caitlin Clark fans of making racial statements, the WNBA went crazy.
The thing that worries me the most is how social media and the media are going to run with it.
It seems as though the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese, the WNBA, were simply waiting for Caitlin Clark to make a mistake so they could jump in and intensify the drama. It was a direct attack on her fans, and now they are accusing them of making racist remarks during the Saturday game. Stay tuned for the latest Angel Reese drama, which is sure to be an exciting show. The WNBA is once again demonstrating why it is the least popular league in professional sports.
It was a direct attack against fans of Caitlin Clark.
It's the so-called No Space for Hate campaign, a publicity stunt masquerading as moral superiority that has backfired spectacularly. What should have been a straightforward effort to encourage inclusivity has devolved into yet another mess, complete with unfounded allegations and a rapidly declining patient base. It all culminated during the Indiana Felines versus Chicago Bravado game.
WNBA proudly announced their latest initiative, No Space for Hate, No Space for Hate.
Angel Reese, who never backs down from a challenge, asserted that Caitlin Clark's supporters made racist taunts directed at her and her colleagues.
Somebody on Twitter said that they were there at the game and they heard that one fan, there were fans making monkey noises at Angel Reese when she was at the free throw line. That's just not true.
However, that was obviously untrue, and regrettably, the story returns to what we all witnessed last year.
Unfortunately, this league continues to prove that it's not that, and the media continues to prove that they are not going to cover it as if these are actual athletes playing a sport, because it has escalated into something where now there is an investigation going on because there has been hateful fan comments supposedly directed towards Angel Reese, and there were things going on in the arena where now the narrative is back that we heard all last season.
The WNBA jumped right in, opening an inquiry and releasing statements denouncing the alleged actions.
The WNBA has essentially verified those claims and said that they're launching an investigation. It's not only them who had to put out a statement. The WNBA put out a statement, the Indiana Fever put out a statement, the WNBA PA put out a statement, and the Chicago Sky put out a statement.
Brave move, but there is one obvious issue. There is no proof. We are discussing an arena full of more than 17,000 people, all of whom are carrying cell phones, but for some reason, no official report or recording snapshot of these alleged instances has emerged.
There was probably 17,000 cell phones inside the arena. You mean to tell me not one of these 17,000 people recorded the racism that was directed at Angel Reese and the Chicago Bravado? Not one?
Fans don't believe the league's claims, which are based solely on rumors.
Indiana is not a safe place to play because the fans there are terrible. They're racist. They scream slurs during the game. And I'm mad about this because what seems to have happened is the WNBA saw things that people were saying on
rather than dealing with actual problems. The WNBA is intensifying its nebulous accusations in the hopes that the publicity will overshadow the lack of substance. The 2025 WNBA opening was transformed into a theatrical production of Righteous. Outrage, the sports edition, with Angel Reese taking center stage once more.
That comes up, it was one game, and the WNBA wanted to capitalize on the Angel Reese Caitlin Clark rivalry by putting these two teams up against one another.
This time, the Chicago Sky claims that during their game, Caitlin Clark supporters let loose a barrage of racist and hateful comments. Reese didn't stop there though. She commended the league for its prompt action in the No Space for Hate campaign, declaring, "If it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone." Let's take a moment to reflect on what actually transpired for you, Angel.
Investigation of allegations of fan misconduct during our first game of the season. We will do everything in our power to protect Chicago Sky players, and we encourage the league to continue taking meaningful steps to create a safe environment for all WNBA players.
All of these accusations against Caitlin Clark are being refuted by opponents, but Angel is stepping up her attacks. This is about using outrage as a weapon to gain moral superiority rather than creating a polite atmosphere.
during the game, from what I know and from what I've seen on multiple reports, including Scott Agnes, who is like one of the main reporters for the Pacers and the Indiana Fever, nothing happened during that game. There were no fans that were approached. There were no players who called out certain fans. There weren't other fans.
And the WNBA is more than willing to cooperate, transforming every argument into a spectacle worthy of the headlines.
The target of the first investigation was fans of Caitlin Clark.
Not just a player, Caitlin Clark is one of the few reasons people are interested in the WNBA at the moment. Her devoted fan base is huge and, more importantly, unaffiliated with the league. They support her rather than a league that keeps hurting itself by attacking her fans. The very people who keep the WNBA's viewership from plummeting are being alienated by the league.
The vast majority of this audience, they have no loyalty to the WNBA. Their loyalty lies with Caitlin Clark.
And let's not act as though this is a singular occurrence. The WNBA has a lengthy history of escalating little disagreements into major disputes.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. This dump, this turd of turds known as the WNBA, this damn league can't get the hell out of their own way.
Instead of performance, the league thrives on indignation, pursuing headlines non-stop rather than cultivating a devoted following.
It is not guaranteed to extend to the rest of this putrid league. No one is loyal to the dump. No one cares about the WNBA.
This most recent incident is merely another illustration of their failure to concentrate on the important aspects of the game. Instead, they are using social media to emphasize the rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
None of it ever seemed to work. Within 5 minutes of me applying CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading, my wife's pain was gone. I'm telling you, it's damn near magical. Sugar Mountain Trading also offers CBD bar soap that will keep you pain-free and smelling fresh at the same time.
However, let me tell you one thing. They have made basketball a battlefield of unfounded charges and theatrical outrage. As a result, the league is becoming more and more irrelevant, and the fan base is fed up with the spectacle. But the pesta. Resistance must be the diplomatic reactions from Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White, the coach of the Indiana Fever. Both denounced nasty statements and stressed the need of creating a welcome atmosphere. While this is good, it's rich coming from a league where scandals are almost inevitable.
But the thing that frustrates me the most is, yes, I'm with the WNBA. I don't want there to be hate either, but we have to let fans be fans. You have to be able to boo the...
Let's talk about Angel Reese, the league's self-declared queen of clapbacks. She is more than just a player. She is a walking, tweeting headline generator who uses criticism to fuel her and uses social media as a weapon, rallying her supporters in droves and responding to critics with scathing sub-tweets. To some, she is an unapologetic icon, but to others, she is the most divisive figure in the league.
Then I quickly realized that Angel Reese is immune to criticism from the WNBA front office because she's an innocent victim who's being oppressed by white men and women, and in some extreme cases, white they and them.
Her reputation as the WNBA's unofficial drama ambassador was solidified by her famous refusal to stand for the national anthem, a move that divided opinions more quickly than a referee's call. Whether it was a brave stand or an unnecessary distraction, it solidified her reputation as the league's unofficial drama ambassador.
Things like Angel Reese and the Chicago Bravado refusing to come out and respect the national anthem, that's no bueno.
Additionally, her subtle social media digs at Caitlin Clark and her fans are a masterful example of passive-aggressive tactics meant to keep her name trending and the internet buzzing for a league in dire need of attention. Although Reese's antics have both positive and negative effects, the question is whether controversy is truly the basis upon which the WNBA wishes to grow.
But Uncle KC, maybe it wasn't racism. The WNBA Players Association claimed that Angel Reese was dealing with hatred. There's no space for hate. There's no space for hate.
Let's turn our attention to Caitlin Clark and her devoted following. These individuals not only admire Clark, they revere her.
I just think that she's elevating the profile of women's sports in a way that most women should deeply.
Let's face it, they are there for her, not the WNBA. Even if Clark said she was going to pursue a career in competitive knitting, her supporters would still swarm stadiums to see her play.
They said, "We are aware of the allegations of inappropriate fan conduct during yesterday's game, and we are working closely with the WNBA to complete their investigation. We stand firm in our commitment to providing a safe environment for all WNBA players."
They are an easy target for the WNBA since they are more devoted to the athlete than the league.
Right now, if this is like not settled, like I'm not going to be reporting on this stuff every single day or every single week.
The kicker is this: even by WNBA standards, the league's nebulous charges of racism among Clark's supporters are as baseless as a UFO sighting at Area 51. Sure, they're loud, fervent, and likely don't care all that much for Angel Reese, but racist.
Unfortunately, the WNBA conveniently failed to provide examples of these violations. They made accusations without naming a violator.
Additionally, the league's choice to categorically condemn Reese under the pretext of racism seems more like a last-ditch attempt to get woke points than a sincere endeavor to solve societal problems.
I have read countless articles in the woke media. I wanted to see if anyone was providing evidence of these egregious accusations.
Critics who watch the game are doubting the legitimacy of these acquisitions because not a single video has surfaced since Saturday. Their observations cut through the noise and make people reevaluate the league's narrative. So why does the WNBA keep alienating the fans who attend when Angel Reese taunts Caitlin Clark? The hypocrisy is so obvious that it could light up a stadium, but the worst part is that doing so runs the risk of being labeled as contributing to the issue, ensuring that the cycle of outrage continues while actual basketball, the purpose of this whole story, is sidelined. Fans who simply want to watch a good game without having to wait through social commentary are becoming alienated as a result of the media's emphasis on identity politics above gameplay. Does the media influence public opinion, or does it only stoke division?
17,000 people in the arena, dozens of woke welfare collectors in the mainstream media, and not one piece of evidence has been released.
The WNBA's tendency toward drama isn't limited to Angel Reese or the media. Its own policies are causing a great deal of harm. Can the WNBA afford to continue making these errors? This isn't the first time the WNBA has made a molehill into a mountain. Take the famous Greyhound incident in which Angel Reese accused a bus driver of making racist remarks. Similar to this time, the accusations were tenuous at best, but the league went into full crisis mode, making statements and opening investigations without sufficient proof. In contrast, the NBA and NFL have learned how to handle similar controversies without offending their fan base. However, the WNBA appears intent on making the same mistakes it has in the past while hoping for a better result. When will the WNBA acknowledge that its supporters will grow weary of constant drama?
It has been 48 hours since the game Saturday, and not a single shred of evidence has been released. 48 hours, and not one person has come forward with evidence of racism.
Fundamentally, this story is about a league that is hurting itself by putting player feelings before a fan interaction. The WNBA is jeopardizing viewership in this way. It isn't just about Angel Reese or Caitlin Clark. By policing and possibly punishing its fan base, the WNBA is effectively booking themselves a first-class ticket on the Bruce Caboose, heading straight down the path of bankruptcy. This is completely absurd and will affect NBA funding and its future as a legitimate sports league. It's difficult to see how the league will recover from this mess. Is this the start of the end for the WNBA? The long-term effects are obvious. Declining support, diminished significance, and the very real threat of bankruptcy unless the league changes course and starts concentrating on the game and its fans. To learn more about the controversies surrounding the 2025 season, like and subscribe to the channel.